Say when.
I am ready. Going live.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Are we live? Are we live? Oh, Eric's flash new computer. Woohoo! Savior of the universe. Oh, hey everybody. Sorry, running 2 minutes late. I actually just got off with some more Academy members talking about the Berlin Masterclass. We had a little bit of Skype issue. We couldn't get a couple of people to join in on the Skype call, so it ran a little bit late. I wanted to make sure that everybody that was available could get on the call. So it's going to be a lot of fun, the Masterclass. For those of you that are attending, I see a couple of people here that are going. It's going to be a blast because we're going to spend 3 days just doing one song with a really talented German artist that we are hoping we're going to help, help do well in the English-speaking market as well. But we're also going to do the song in German as well as English, so it's going to be lots of fun. Hello, Emily. Hello, Anita. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Doug. Hello, Scott. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Alexi. Hello, Rocco. Devon, Tom, Ben, Toby, Sean. How are you all? Hopefully I got everybody that I can see. Cranky Emu. Blue Wave Dave. David Michael. Lee. JP. Ken. Lisa. Jay, otherwise known as Not Hardly. Tom C. Country T. Andy. Roman. Hello, Roman. Wow, I think I'm getting everybody. Daniel C. Wow, Mojo's Army. All right. Paul, hello. Paul Smith. All right. So here we are. We're big, we're bad, we're back. Another Feedback Friday. I love doing these. And I see we have a lot of different things here. We also have a member here, Sharos, I believe, or it says here, it says Shidash Kasha, Shida Kasha. Anyway, we've got one user submitted mix. Now, we don't specifically normally do this, but Eric asked me yesterday, he said that this particular person had been sending in a lot, and we want everybody to be included. So if that's the only thing they're putting in, we might well just pick it. Plus, we have been threatening for a long time, and we will do it, that we will do a week of only user ones. The only problem with doing that is I don't want anybody to feel left out. Which is a possibility. I don't want people to feel left out. Anyway, how are you all? It's all rather wonderful. Hello there, Jörg. So, Scott, Eric, and Rock. You're going to be Rock now? Rob, we're going to call him Rock. Rock.
As long as I get the muscles.
Oh, that kind of rock. All right. Well, we're ready for Metal Mania. We're going to start off with Alexi and City Lights.
The city lights are far behind, and I can see it now that I'm on my own. Wheels up, head for the future. No more rusting here with the lifeless. Dig deep, say what you're thinking. I'm not gonna follow. I'm not gonna follow. Take off, show me the stars. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to leave the city of black broke. Show me the road to the good life, the good life, the good life. Take off, show me the stars. Away from the lights, away from the lights in the city of black broke. Show me the road to the good life, the good life, the good life. what you're thinking. We're not gonna follow. We're not gonna follow. Take off, show me the stars. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to leave the city of black books. Show me the road to the good life, the good life, the good life. Take off, show me the stars. Away from the lights, away from the lights in the city of black books. Show me the road to the good life, the good life, the good life.
I think you're hitting your master bus super, super hard, especially early on here. It's already, and I can hear that there's sort of distortion you've added on the snare.
The city lights are far behind, and I can see.
I think it's a little too much for me. I don't mind it so much, but the low end seems to be suffering as a result. I'm not hearing like a low thumpy kick and the bass. I'm not sure what your listening environment's like, so maybe it might be that you've got too much low end in your room, so you're not going down there and carving that out and bringing it out so we can feel it because of that as a result.
The city lights are far behind. Wheels up, head for the future. No more rust in here with the lifeless. Dig deep, say what you're thinking. I'm not gonna follow. I'm not gonna follow. Take off, show me the stars. I'm ready to.
Yeah, I think I definitely need that low end. I don't want I need the verse and the chorus to have a little bit more oomph. You know, so the verse come down a little bit, play with the dynamics a bit. So when that chorus comes in, it's like smack, hit you over the head. Also, I think the main thing for me actually is the drums seemed out of sync. Like if I go to the end of the second, like the fills seem like they're early. I'm not sure if that's an edit or you've replayed some stuff. But if you listen to the end of this second chorus,
Perspective from on the other side. Wheels up, head for the future. No more rust.
so to me that should be like, you know, ga 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 ga, wheels up, head for the future. That should drop down to that single kick.
Perspective from on the other side.
Yeah, 3, 4, bum bum
Wheels
bum
up,
bum.
head for the future. No more rust.
So, yeah, I don't mind the distorted snare. I don't mind it being aggressive. I just believe that I want to have the low end in there. Now, it might be a room thing, speakers, combination of room, where you're not getting that, you're not getting that kind of low end in the room, or sorry, the other way around. You're getting so much low end in the room that you're not hearing that. Or are you on headphones? What is it? Is it the room situation? Is there a lot of low end in there, or are you on headphones that maybe have a lot of low end in there? You know what I mean? What's your sort of experience with that? It's like I almost want to. It says maybe too centered. There's a delay of about 30 seconds. So I'm asking the question here. Give us a little description on your room, Alexi. Wheels up to pursuit you, not gonna follow, not gonna follow. Oh, he said mix of headphones mostly. Okay, so my question is then, what headphones are they, and are you using the SonarWorks? Because the other thing is, the SonarWorks, like on these in particular, get rid of a lot of that excessive low end. So I can sometimes overdo the low end, because the thing with headphones is that most headphones, not all, but a lot of headphones, should we say, are kind of scoopy sounding. They have a huge amount of low end and they have some like hyped high end. So I find when I mix on headphones, I can occasionally be bass light because there's so much low end. And then the first time I tried using SonarWorks on these headphones, I ended up making it too bassy because I was expecting it to have more bass. You know what I mean? I wasn't trusting it, and that is a mistake that I make. So maybe it's worth you putting the SonarWorks on your headphones. The HD205s, I don't know those so much. Oh, the MixFi headphones. I've got some of those, Lee. They're great. So, okay, maybe... Well, in that case, maybe what you want to have to do then is... Are you finding that it feels like you have enough low end? You know what she's going to have to do then, Alexi? Do some reference stuff. Get the reference... get some music that you love the mixes of and reference all the time so that you can learn your headphones better. So basically, if you listen to a piece of music and it sounds super bassy or not bassy enough, you know, on your headphones, but sounds great everywhere else, you've got to start matching that. My room has a little bit of a bump in the low end because of the console. So I got used to that. I got used to it and I don't pull it out. I just know how music should sound here. So you've got to sort of do the same thing. You know, so if you don't have SonarWorks, I totally understand. I'm not trying to sell things for people. You know what I mean? I think it's a great tool, but not everybody's got money to fly around on different pieces of gear. But the way that you would learn it before SonarWorks is literally to take music that you love and that you believe sounds incredible and listen to it and reference backwards and forwards your track and that track, your track, that track, and start matching the low end, because then it will translate. Because if something sounds too boomy in your headphones, but you know it's amazing and it's translating all over the world, then maybe that's because your headphones are making it sound too boomy. So you're going to have to match it. What's probably happening is the Sennheisers probably have an extended, huge low end that you think is okay. The other thing that could be happening as well when mixes are too bright and aggressive is that you're mixing too loud for too long periods of time. It's a big, big deal. If you're mixing for a really, really long time, your high end, especially the high mids, will turn down. The 3 to 5K area will suddenly get super loud because you're pushing it, you're pushing it, you're pushing it, you're pushing it. It happens to all of us. I don't care if you're, you know, if it's me, Crystal Algae, or whatever. If you're mixing on headphones for long periods of time loud, the high mids will get super, super aggressive because that's where your ears turn it down. You keep pushing it, you keep pushing it, you keep pushing it. So I think the biggest thing for you, Alexi, would be to use reference tracks to get used to your environment. And then if you can invest in the SonarWorks, definitely do it if you're forced to mixing on headphones. However, again, I'm not trying to sell you something. The way we always used to do it for frickin' 50 years before that was just a reference. That's where people ask me about using reference tracks. That's why you use reference tracks, to understand your listening environment. Because if you put on a song which you know is insanely amazing and it sounds boomy in your room, then you know it's your room that's boomy. And if you're going to mix something, you need to match that same kind of level of boominess or whatever it is. That's why you use reference tracks. If you mix something in your room and it has no low end, and you can't figure out why you're not getting any low end, it's probably because it's artificially giving you too much low end. And the next thing, like I said, with high mids, if they're too aggressive, it's probably because you're mixing too loud for too long as a periods of time. So definitely, you know, those are the two things I'd be looking out for. Okay, great. But honestly, great work. We do love the snare. We like the distortion. Check out that the drums there. Figure out what's going on where it feels like it's misaligned, where the energy and that part seems to go past the breakdown. I'm not sure what's going on. There was also a drum fill, like a cat in the chorus, which came earlier, I believe, than the vocal. I think it should have been there, and it came a bar earlier. So. You're very welcome, Alexi. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. SonarWorks is just the software for headphones. But again, I mean, you get an Academy discount. There should be a page. Eric, can you post a link to the page, please, in the chat? There should be a page where you can get the discount. And they do sales all the time. But again, it will solve the problem. However, for 50 years before that, we didn't have it, and people solved the problem by using reference tracks. Personally, I would, at the early stage of learning, I'd be using reference tracks, and then the SonarWorks will take it over the edge. You know, I really strongly believe that reference tracks, you're going to learn a lot. Plus, you're going to force yourselves to listen to amazing mixes. If you're always listening to great mixes by people, what's wrong with that? You're going to learn and get better anyway. All right, Roman is up next. And Roman with his version of Whiskey. And Eric, would you mind grabbing a cup of tea?
Whoa.
Cup of tea?
I thought I was going to hear whiskey after that one. I was like, what?
Okay, so that looks like Eric has posted the link. I'm going to click on it and check it. And it's just giving me, there it is. Yeah, 40% off. So again, so friends of SonarWorks have given Produce Like a Pro accountants 40% off their amazing products. Click the link below to go to SonarWorks. Yeah, so you can do it there. You can get the 40% off there. Definitely, I would suggest it. I use it. However, I'm not. I don't want to make, you know, I'm not trying to sell things to people inside the academy from the perspective of we are trying to help each other out here. I think it would really, really help. But I also think the first thing I would do, Alexi, and anybody that's experiencing this, not getting their low end right and mixing on headphones, use reference tracks. Do that anyway, regardless, even if you get the SonarWorks, because you need to know how your headphones really sound. And you're going to learn so much more from using reference tracks anyway. You're going to understand your headphones, you're going to understand your room, but you're also going to force yourself to listen to amazing music, and there's nothing bad about that. You're going to get better at your job, or your hobby, or your career, or whatever you want to call it, your passion. How about that? Your passion. All right, Roman, here is Roman's version of Whiskey.
Touch my lips, you set a fire to my song, and I'm gonna take it down to heaven. We push and pull and won't let go. It's a never end merry come and go round once more. And oh, you're so insatiable. Down again, moaning, screaming, don't pretend. Wanna hear my name, your gritted teeth and the heavy breath. Just lose yourself with me and you, and tell me what you wanna do, and we'll dance along the satin till the morning. I can only hope that what you see is you and me, and never letting go. I'm gonna tear you down so hard, you're gonna be calling out for God, and he's gonna let you know he's looking down, and just keep going. So take me down again, moaning, screaming, don't pretend. Wanna hear my name, the gritted teeth and the heavy breath. Just lose yourself with me and you, and tell me what you wanna do, and we'll dance along the satin till the morning. my name, the gritted teeth and a heavy breath. Whoa, lose yourself with me and tell me what you wanna do, and we'll dance. We'll dance.
So the question is, was it a mistake that the 48K files, because you know most of the time we're at 48K, were imported into 44.1? Was it a mistake, or is Roman an evil genius? I mean, obviously immediately, like I said, you know, I was like 5 seconds in, I'm going, hey, it's been, you know, I noticed the tempo was changed and the pitch had changed and all that stuff. It was quite obvious right at the get-go, but we carried on listening. Frankly, I sort of liked it. It was like, I didn't sort of like it, I really liked it. I mean, the subject matter, there's lots of ladies present, so we won't get into the obvious subject matter. But the subject matter is, I mean, you know, the polite way of putting it, it's a very sensual song. You know what I mean? It's definitely about, you know, a man and a woman and a man. You know, there's some intimacy about the song. How about that? There you go. So there's that subject matter, and then there's also just kind of the groove. You know, it's like a really, really great song. It's a slow dance song, and now it really is a slow dance song. Before it was a Saturday Night Live, New York band, you know, classic. It could have been played on Saturday Night Live in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. I always felt to me, the production, I wanted it to be Jack Douglas, 1980. To me, that's like, Jack Douglas in 1980 was the best producer in the world. He just was. And if you listen to Double Fantasy, it's just, my hairs are all standing on end. If you listen to John Lennon Double Fantasy 1980, it just was what music was supposed to be. It was sophisticated enough. The songs were amazing. It was John Lennon. The players were incredible. He had Andy Newmark on drums. You know, it was just amazing. And that is what, you know what I mean? That was what I was going for in this original production, you know, saxophone and everything. Now, Roman, is he an evil genius? Did he deliberately bring it in from 48K to 44.1 and slow it down? There's a part of me that thinks, I wish I could get Steve to re-sing it in this key just because I hear a little bit of the slowdown. A little, but I like this key for Steve. Or do we get a more of a Barry White, rough kind of voice and do this? It's a pretty remarkable song. And this is a great, yeah, I don't know. My hat's off to Roman. Whether it was an accident or evil genius, you win. It's like the main talking point. It's, you know, look, how many times have you heard the story about the Beatles with double tracking? Or flanging, or phasing, or all of these. How many times have you heard this stuff and found out that it was all accidental? that they came up with these ideas because they were trying to push boundaries, and then they tried something and it all went horribly wrong. So Roman says it was a genius mistake. There you go. So really, really amazing. Apart from that, I actually really like the mix. Yeah, I really, really like the mix. Yeah, great. It really makes me rethink this. Really rethink the song entirely. Yeah, really makes me rethink it. Earl, as Earl points out, if you do it twice, it's not a mistake. It's like the playing jazz, isn't it? It's like the, you know, like a. Yeah. Just play that minor third on the chord. Play it twice though. All right. Great work, Roman. Next up is Scott P with Chase K's Warm.
Wake up in the morning, jump right out of bed. Rain is at our window, fall is here again. Darling, quit yawning, sleep some other time. It's such a lovely morning to run around outside. I don't wanna wait for summer to come, 'cause I'm warming up with you in my arms. Some might say the cold is no fun, but I'm warming up. Yes, I'm warming up with you in my arms. Put on that old raincoat and jump right in the mud. Sometimes it gets boring doing what we should. I don't wanna wait for summer to come, 'cause I'm warming up with you in my arms. Some might say the cold is no fun, but I'm warming up. Yes, I'm warming up with you in my arms. Sometimes we might get things wrong. No one's perfect all the time. Off key in your favorite song, but doesn't that sound? I don't wanna wait for summer to come. I don't wanna wait for summer to come. I don't wanna wait for summer to come, 'cause I'm warming up with you in my arms. Some might say the cold is no fun, but I'm warming up. Yes, I'm warming up with you in my arms.
Wow. Yes, this is in the Academy. Yes, Anita seems to be finding it quicker than Eric. Eric, you found it yet? So, yeah, there it is. He put it up. Okay. So, yeah, it's in season one. It's right. It's one of the first songs that we did. Wow. Thank you for doing that. It's great to come back to that song. Really, really great work, Scott. I think for me, there's only two things I would improve. That's the low end on the kick and the bass guitar. Just because to get that full, at the moment it's super light islandy, which is the whole idea. The song's called Warm. It's supposed to be, people were talking about, hey, it makes me want to go to the beach. Exactly. I mean, that's the point of the song. So that means that Scott basically nailed it. Let's be honest, that's what it's about. It's like, how can you convey that feeling, that emotion? Scott did it. The only thing that I want you to go work on, Scott, because I love the way you auto-tune that bridge on the vocal, especially with the lyric, the tuning here.
I don't wanna wait for things are wrong. No one's perfect all the time. Off key in your favorite song.
Yeah, just really, really cool. Really super cool. I love what you did there. The only thing I want is it's light, and I love it. And this is a mix. It's a really good mix, and this could be the one. However, I think for the reggae thing, I want to have a little bit more oomph on the low end on the kick, and a little bit more on the bass. You know, because you've got that sort of feel on the kick where you're on the bass, sorry, where you're always hitting like the 5. That you know, and I want that low note to really, really shine through. That's the only thing I would change. Now, some good questions going on here. Tom wants to know, what did you tune with? What did you use on the tune? That would be, I would definitely want to know what you did as well. Did you do that with Melodyne? Did you do it with auto-tune? What did you use? Great work, really, really good. So just give me some low lows, give me some thump on the kick, and definitely something more on the low end on the bass guitar. Great work, yay! All right, next up is Chuck Green with You Pull Me Back. And yes, I'm excited to hear people go back to that one. Matty Six Strings says, got to go back to work. Happy mix, everybody. I'll finish this tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Into the ocean, dove deep until I knew no longer up from down. It feels like clarity until my lungs remind me my time is up, time is up. Then you pull me back when I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black. You pull me back when I'm sinking down into the depth. You pull me back, and without you I know for sure I'd drown. But you pull me back, you pull me back. I wandered out again last night into a river, allowed the current to decide where I should go. It felt like freedom until I knew I was drifting, all alone, all alone. And I'm lifting my home. Then you pull me back when I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black. You pull me back when I'm sinking down into the depths. You pull me back, and without you I know for sure I'd drown. But you pull me back, you pull me back. No one will ever love me like you do. No one will ever love me like you do. No one will ever love me like you do. No one will ever love me like you do. No one will ever love me like you do. You pull me back when I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black. You pull me back when I'm sinking down into the depths. You pull me back, and without you I know for sure I'd drown. But you pull me back. You pull me back. When I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black, you pull me back. When I'm sinking down, down into the depths, you pull me back. Without you I know for sure I'd drown. You pull me back. You pull me back. You pull me back. When I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black, you pull me back. When I'm sinking down, down into the depths, you pull me back. Without you I know for sure I'd drown. You pull me back. You pull me back. You pull me back.
I've got to see this. Keith says, kind of sounds like infant sorrow in a good way. You know, the funny thing about watching that movie is those are all my friends playing in a band. Victor and Drizzo's playing drums. Dan Roughturtle is behind me, he's the bass player. So whenever I watch that, I just see all of my friends having a great time being Infant Sorrow, the band. It's really, really funny. Wow, it's a really good movie, really funny movie. Mum, say something supportive. Chin up. Keep a stiff upper lip. So English. That's exactly like my parents. Like, my father would say to me, "You know I love you." Would never say "I love you," but "You know I love you." Anyway, so it's the English way. What can we say? I don't know if England's like that anymore. That's the England I grew up in. I think it's quite different these days. For those of you that are watching in the UK. Okay, I love this. The thing I got a kick out of the most was all the additional production stuff, and I think that is the thing that we need to celebrate and talk about. So really fantastic work, Chuck. Great additional production. Really helps tremendously to see this and understand, you know, people's visions, because a song like this could really go in different directions. You know, I think David, this could be about a relationship in faith, a faith-based song, or it could be a song about, you know, being in a relationship with, just being in an actual relationship. Whether it be a partner or a friendship, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different interpretations of it. That was something I found when I was working with the Fray, is that some people, you know, saw You Found Me as maybe a song for his wife, and then other people saw it as a faith-based song. So this is what I love about music, is the ambiguity. And a lot of the production elements that were added remind me of that. And my main thing is probably a little bit more about maybe getting in there. Plodding on in quiet desperation is the English way. Yes, that's a nice Roger Waters quote for the day. So I think the only thing I would do, Chuck, is go into this maybe with a little bit of editing. So let's have a listen at the front.
Last night into the ocean, dove deep until I knew no longer up from down. It feels like clarity until my lungs remind me my time is up, time is up. Then you pull me back when I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black. You pull me back when I'm sinking down.
So there's a moment there of some flamming, which probably wouldn't seem that bad, but I feel like the song is so smooth and so rolls over me and feels so good that just every now and then where there's some flamming between a snare maybe and an acoustic guitar, I think that has to be corrected.
Then you pull me back when I'm out of breath, swimming deep in black. You pull me back when I'm sinking down into the depths. You pull you pull me back.
That's really all I would do, is spend some time just kind of correcting some stuff. Now, low end, I could do with a tiny bit more kick. Just a bit, not volume necessarily of the overall kick, but some low lows. I think this is something we talk about a lot, and that's why I think we always have to be talking about what headphones we're using, how we're monitoring, because it is a consistent thing about getting the low end right. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody's mixing has gone through the roof, and when people come in here, they come in here with not a very good understanding of low end, and then suddenly their low end is incredible, and is definitely sorts out the men from the boys, the girls from the women, whatever, well, women from the girls, whatever you want to say. I think it's a bit. It is the difference between a lot of really, really amazing mixes and lots of really good mixes is really defined low end. It's the reason why I'm really into high passing very strategically to allow low end to breathe. This I don't think is a problem. I actually think that you're high passing really effectively. Everything sounds really fantastic and really in its place. It's Scott. Thank you. Yes, you'll understand what this song is about, Scott. It's David's a really great guy. So basically, you've got the clarity down there. Now just give me some low end. You've really done a wonderful job, Chuck, of getting in there and pulling out, some of the low end in other instruments to allowing it to breathe. Now I just actually want it to breathe a little bit. So give me a little bit more of the 40 hertz area on the kick, and then a little bit more definition at about 80 on the bass. Just a bit. I'm talking about a dB or two maximum, and I think then you're in a winner. Then the rest of the time I would just spend tightening up areas where it's flamming a little bit, because it just takes me out of the dreaminess that you've got. You've got this beautiful dreamy sort of feeling on the acoustics, and then there's a flam between the acoustic and the snare, or a flam between a couple of instruments, and it just takes me out a little bit. We're talking subtleties, like little tiny subtleties. Otherwise, absolutely wonderful. I love everything you've added. Great work. Chuck, great work. This has been really good so far. Rather impressive. All right, we're moving to Back When We Were We, Pete Morose, and this is Peter Samuelson. Peter, he's here, he's big, he's bad, he's back, and he's up now.
Back when love was born, like children playing in the storm, clouds rolling one by one. When we were born, slept alone with your photographs and your epitaphs, all those goodbye notes, the songs you wrote. Back when we were we, in sweet harmony. September, back when we were we. I can see your face. I can see your face. Beauty shining full of grace, in captivating days. Swept away, slept alone with your photographs and your epitaphs, all those goodbye notes, the songs we wrote. Back when we were we, in sweet harmony. September, back when we were back when we were we.
Amazing. Really, really amazing. Yeah, I love all the hiss of my old API and my old stuff. Yeah, the whole idea, Lauren, thank you, Lauren, was to go for a Beatles feel. And the song is about the Beatles. The whole idea was, even though it's sung and there's a girl in there who's fantastic, so it sounds like it's a love song between Back When We Were Me. It sounds like a breakup song or the end of a relationship or something, or a relationship that's breaking down. It's definitely all those things. It's back to that sign of ambiguity where we were talking about a song earlier, which could have been, you just before You Pull Me Back, which could be viewed as a faith-based song or it could be a relationship song. This is also that same ambiguity here where you've got a guy and a girl singing, so it feels like back when we were we. Back when the relationship was good and you were in love and all this kind of stuff. It's actually about John Lennon and Paul McCartney. It's from the perspective of them. Were they ever going to get back together and be that songwriting team and that powerhouse of a band again? That's what this song is about. So it's actually built from that perspective. Hence why the production was super. Well, it was about grief. See, Lisa, it is about grief and it is about a partner dying. It's about a musical partner dying, because John Lennon obviously died, and that was the point. So there it is. There's a sort of ambiguity. Yeah. So it's great that we all feel what it's about, but we're not quite sure. And there's enough ambiguity in a song for you to identify with it. So people have had an experience of losing a loved one, especially untimely, which is just, I don't even want to imagine or think about. But those of us that have been through, loss, and we will all go through it in our lives, of course, that speaks to us on that level. Then relationships that are in those places where you wish they were back to the good times when everything was just light and airy and you didn't have marriage and kids and mortgages and stuff like that. I'm sure many of you can understand that. So it speaks on many, many levels. So why are we talking about the song and specifically? Well, because Peter nailed it. Peter nailed it because we're all talking about that. The only discussion that came up here was maybe bringing the vocals down, which I agree could maybe come down. Now, you're talking to a guy who likes loud vocals. I like pop vocals. When I listen to Queen, there's definitely vocals that are in the track, but I could definitely I always err on the vocals being a little louder than most people. That's just the way it is. I've had people tell me turn down vocals, artists all the time. Very rarely I've had an artist tell me to turn up the vocals. So Peter, you have nailed this. The vocals maybe could come down and nats, but only the male, I think. The girl vocal's about where it should be. The only other thing I would say is the low end on the bass guitar. It's pretty special. It's pretty perfect. However, there's quite a few moments it sits on top of the kick's low end. So maybe just ever so slightly tighten up your high passing on your bass. If you've got a 6 dB slope, maybe make it a 12 dB slope. Then give me a nats, like another dB of 40 hertz on the kick. You can go to 60 and push it up there, but that's not really the problem. It's the fact that, if you've got a bell curve and you're pushing up like 60 like this, then it's pulling up some 80, which is going to get in the way of the bass, but it's also helping out the 40. So at the moment, I would take the bass and just increase the slope on the high pass ever so slightly, make it slightly more aggressive. I'm not talking about this. I'm just talking about if it's a 6, make it a 12. If it's already at a 12, then maybe just push it above 60, maybe like 65. So where the point starts. I don't think it needs to be steeper than a 12 dB slope. But if it still feels like it's too much, then like I said, move it up 5 hertz higher up. And then give me a little bit more 40 on the kick, just like another dB and a half of it probably. And I think you'll be in a perfect situation. But the point is like we're all talking about the song in a way that goes above and beyond the mix. That is a good sign. That means that you have done a great, great job. So hats off, Peter. Great work. Subtle things to take it over the edge. We love what you did. All right, next up is Stephen Korst with A Long Way Down. A long way down. Here we go. the other song. I was sticking to the other one. Long Way Home. I just sung Long Way Home as Long Way Down. I messed it up. Next.
Back in a suitcase, hurry, a car waits outside. Throw your things in the back, pull off the highway. You say, hey, thanks for the ride. And you're running to gate 21, breathless as you shuffle on. You made it in time. Way up high, the world seems even smaller, like painted city lights on the ground. There are things to face when you land, but for now, 10,000 feet in the clouds, the world is a long, long way down. Down, down, down. Reread your messages, so much that you never said. It gets tight in your chest, all of the what ifs. It could drive somebody mad, but you put your headphones back on, losing yourself in a song, wishing you'd spend more time. Way up high, the world seems even smaller, like painted city lights on the ground. There are plans to make when you land, but for now, 10,000 feet in the clouds, the world is a long, long way down. The world is a long, long way, way on the ground. You can't help but feel restless. Up here there's a second to catch your breath. All of the time that you have ain't enough, and every second it feels like half. 10,000 feet in the clouds, the world is a long, long way, way up high. The world seems even smaller, like painted city lights on the ground. There are things to face when you land, but for now, 10,000 feet in the clouds, the world is a long, long way down. The world is a long, long way down. Down, down, down.
It's really cool. I really like it. The vocal's very, very compressed, and there's a bit of a grit to it, and I do like that. The only thing I would say is that like there's a couple of things that come in that cover it. When that slide comes in, it sort of feels like the attack time is slow, so it kind of goes, so you hear the initial thing. All of which is fine, and it's an interesting effect. Yeah, I think the compression is quite aggressive. So yeah, getting back to the mix, the compression on the vocal is really, really nice. It's definitely aggressive, and it's added some grit, and I really, really like it. So I really, really like it, and it just sort of like, but there is times where it just gets a little covered, Stephen, just a little bit here. Let's have a listen.
And you're running to gate 21.
I mean, it's got 20, it's great.
And you're running to gate 21, breathless as you shuffle on. You made it in time. smaller, like painted city lights on the ground. There are things, your things in the back. Pull off the highway, you say, hey, thanks for the ride. And you're running to gate 21, breathless as you shuffle on. You made it in time, way up high.
Yeah, I love that, and I can hear like the ducking where it goes and then it sucks down. It sucks down. So so it sucks down.
You made it in time, way up high. The world seems even. You made it in time, way up high. The world seems even small. You made it in time.
I mean, I love that idea of it like being like it like kind of the way it comes in and then sucks down. You know, it's really, really cool. You know what I mean? I like it, but at the same time, it's just covering the vocal. So I hear what you're doing, that that it's just, you know, sucking over and then coming in. Okay, so here we go.
Breathless as you shuffle on. You made it in time, way up high. The world seems even smaller, like painted.
So what's happening there, Stephen, is it's just covering the vocal. It's nice, and I like the idea of it's poking its head out, but you're going to have to, you know, have to just poke the vocal over the top and just like kind of make this. If you're going to do that thing, maybe another thing you could do is, if you want the effect of it grabbing us like that, is maybe do a pan, like come from one side to the other. You know what I mean? Just make it so it feels like it's just, you know, it's just like kind of like swashing around it, and you know, it's really, really good. I get it. I get the feeling, but it's covering the vocal. And I think the couple of times that people were pointing out the vocal was a little low, I think was really just that, because I actually like where the level is. And that's one of the things we have to identify, is like when we're noticing something like, is the vocal a little low here? Is it just because of a particular moment, or is it because other things are maybe too loud or distracting or in the way? The idea is good though. To have the attack on it and then have it sweep across is really, really cool.
Breathless as you shuffle on. You made it in time, way up high. The world seems even smaller, like painted city lights on the ground. There are things to face when you land, but for now, 10,000 feet in the clouds. The world is a long, long way down. Down, down, down. Reread your message.
Yeah, it's interesting because the vocal sort of is ducking into the track at times, and Toby's saying the same thing. Let's try the idea of the pan. I agree. The vocal sort of ducks in at times, and you know, it's like, do you want to push it up there, or do you want to work on some of the stuff that's just kind of overcompensating? I think it's a double whammy. I think you're going to have to take care of some of the things that's poking its head out a little bit over the vocal, because they're also sort of smearing it a little bit, and then just take the vocal and just feature it at other moments, just to see if we can get this to be, you know, just balanced just enough. But I like the overall sound, and I do like that crunchiness on the vocal, but it, as people are pointing out, it feels like it's not loud enough all the time. So I don't think it's to turn the vocal up. I think it's an automate the vocal over certain things, and then find out those instruments like that slide in particular, and then those little lead parts that come in, and just maybe duck them around it a little bit. See if you can find that balance. It feels like, to me, the number one thing you should be doing here is automation. I think that's where we're coming to. It's just like, let's automate this. Great. Wonderful work. And next up is Keith, and I know Keith is here. So Keith, we have Abnahu, Prom Dress.
sun's been down for an hour or two, and it's still just me and you. I'd like to move closer, and it's been too long, and it doesn't feel at all wrong. I slide a little closer. It doesn't take as long as I thought it would. She was off like a prom dress, no regrets, doing things I'd never guess. Seems like an angel from the Father, but now she's Satan's daughter. Sin in heaven, I won, I believe you should too. Well, I've had a many wild night in my life, but none like tonight, and she blew my mind. She took me high, brought tears to my eyes, hit me begging for mercy and more in no time. I only wish that I would have been more prepared. I only wish that I would have been stronger. She was off like a brown dress, no regrets, doing things I never guessed. Seemed like an angel from the Father, but now she's Satan's daughter. Sitting in an old and I believe you should too. She was off like a prom dress. She was off like a prom dress. She was off like a prom dress.
Speakers there. It was just so much fun. I went onto the main speakers to have a blast there. Sorry, I've got too many cables on me here. I moved over, now I'm moving this, so excuse me if it's all rustle. And anyway, absolutely fantastic. I really love that. That was absolutely amazing. Really incredible. Really incredible. It's just like super exciting, aggressive snare, aggressive guitars, and just really fantastic stuff. I'm going to listen to this section here again.
Well, I've had a many wild night in my life, but none like tonight, and she blew my mind. She took me.
Absolutely amazing. This is like, I just love those delays there.
Well, I've had a many wild night in my life, but none like tonight, and she blew my mind. She took me high, brought tears to my eyes, hit me begging for mercy and more.
I work with these guys. I recorded this, and the thing is about them is they're very, very well educated, incredible musicians, really, really great guys. And the reality is that being super educated and super like great guys, they don't necessarily have that kind of angst that a lot of like the classic, if you think of the rock bands like the Birmingham and Northern and Midlands, you know, British bands and Scottish bands and stuff, they came from very, very poor working class areas. And they had a kind of a sense of aggression to them that brought that rock music and made it so explosive. This doesn't have this. You know, you have created it. The recording was very difficult for me to get that, and you have created it. You've made this vocal more explosive and more aggressive. This is a wonderful, wonderful mix. Keith, great work.
Well, I've had a many wild night in my life, but none like tonight, and she blew my mind. She took me high, brought tears to my eyes, hit me begging for mercy, and more in no time. I only wish that I would have been more prepared. I only wish that I would have been stronger. She was off like a boundless, no regrets, doing things I never guessed. Seemed like an angel from the Father, but now she's Satan's daughter.
Loving it. It's also overly bright, overly compressed, overly saturated, all of the things that are totally wrong that make it super exciting. So it's a really, really good lesson in like things don't have to be like absolutely perfect. Things don't have to be like mixed like visually. There's a lot of wrongness going on there. And it's really, yeah, I love it. Keith, great work. It's been some wonderful mixes. I love everybody's approaches here. But there's something about that I love. It's just so exciting and gets me like really, really wonderful. All right, next up. Also curious what you and others thought by the vocal harmonies and Melodyne. I mean, honestly, Stephen, what you were doing was really, really cool. I think the main discussion was people on the vocals. I liked the vocal sound. I liked the crunchiness of it and the compression of it. And I liked that all. The only thing that I found is it was covering other things. And it's really just, I think it's all about automation. I think everything you're going to serve on yours, Stephen, is automation. Now, so great work. Now, Keith, for you, I don't have any comments. Could it be more, you know, slick and pro sounding? What people think is professional? Yes, but I don't want it to be. It's like we talk about Iggy Pop and raw power and how that is just all wrong and too bright and too aggressive and things are too loud. You've captured that spirit. You've taken a band of very well-educated kids and made them sound like an aggressive rock band. And that's really what this is about. It's like, how do we get that? How do we create that kind of thing? And it's super, yeah, it's really, really impressive that you got that. So great work. Moving on. Next up is David Gately with Crazy.
Been baptized by fire, I've been going insane. I'm a guitar man with whiskey in hand and drugs in my brain. I've crossed borders and seas, played for princes and thieves, but nothing else matters if you ain't with me. I'm going crazy, crazy for a woman like you. Felt this way before, and that didn't turn out well. So now I'm starting anew. I've been lying here all damn night, dreaming up ways to get back to you. What could I do? What could I say? Is there anything left to make you feel the same? I've been baptized by fire, I've been going insane. I'm a guitar nail with whiskey in hand and drugs in my brain. I've crossed borders and seas, played for princes and thieves, but nothing else matters if you ain't with me. I'm going crazy, crazy for a woman like you. You, a woman like you. Someone said to me, man, you gotta be crazy for speaking your mind. But I can't control my brain, and you might not feel the same, but I don't mind wasting my time. 'Cause what if you knew, and what if I'd stayed? Is there anything left to make you feel the same? I've been baptized by fire, I've been going insane. I'm a guitar nail with whiskey in hand and drugs in my brain. I've crossed borders and seas, played for princes and thieves, but nothing else matters if you ain't with me. No, I'm going crazy, crazy for a woman like you. Oh, a woman like you. In all these summer nights, in these city lights, they fade away, yeah. So tell me I just might take a flight tonight if I could just see your face. Oh, I've been baptized by fire, I've been going insane. I'm a guitar man with whiskey and none and drugs in my brain. I've crossed borders and seas, played for princes and thieves, but nothing else matters if you ain't with me. I'm going
Fantastic. Now, as I was saying in the chat there, this is a very, very difficult song to mix. If you watch the video that's associated with it, it was the video, because remember this is recorded by Daryl Thorpe, who's won like 7 Grammys. So it's a wonderful opportunity to mix a song by somebody who knows what they're doing. It's also a completely and utterly live performance. It's all one take. It's recorded at Sunset Sound. It has one of the best, arguably best consoles ever made, with one of the, just everything about this was really, really beautiful. And yes, all of the musicians are in the same room. The advantage that Daryl had when he mixed this is he didn't do much to it, did a little bit of EQ and a bit of compression. But what he had the advantage of was this beautiful console, which has a sound. And it has transformers and mic pre's and EQs that will soak up those additional transients. And that being very, very important to the sound of it. Now, one of the mistakes I think a lot of us have made when mixing this is doing too much, is doing a little bit too much EQ and compression. I think what's going on here is a little bit too much on the master bus, and the bass is definitely pumping the bus and possibly the kick as well. So I would say for David is like, it's close for somebody that's doing a decent amount of work. It's close, but I would say do less. It's almost like that movie. What was the movie with the guy when he's surfing? It's a comedy. Is it Forgetting Sarah Marshall or something like that? And he's like, do less. And he's like, how can I do less when he's on the surfboard? And then he's like, now you're doing nothing. So it's like one of those things. Like I get it. It's like a sort of a mystery, but it's like. I almost feel like if you can't mix through a console and you're not summing, probably just add something on the on the channels, like maybe the analog channel by Mac DSP is very affordable. Maybe some tape on it, maybe NLS waves, just something across the individual channels which is just going to soak up some of those transients and give it just a little bit of weight, you know what I mean? Just to make it really super, super even. And then just do some volume automation. That I think is the best way of going. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Low end, the low end is really difficult to mix on this. And yeah, you've got to be careful. If you get too crazy about making the bass or the kick drum sound too even, you'll end up making everything else even. And before you know it, you've got a very compressed mix. I do think that David's mix, bearing in mind that he is employing compression and EQ and stuff like that, is actually really good. It's one of the better ones that's done like that, but I would definitely do a little bit of less is more. All right, I am going to use the bathroom. And next up is, oh look. Dun dun dun. Oh yes, Emily says the Slate console on every sub. Yep, that could be a way of going. All right, Eric, you're up.
All right.
You're up.
All right. Rob, can you hear me? Yes, sweet. Backup mic. Yes. You can hear me. I'm quiet? Oh, that's why. And boom. That should be the way it used to be before we switched to labs and stuff. And I forgot the cameras over there. How's it going, everyone? I am back. I'm not going to start the song because, frankly, I suck at giving feedback because I have a lot to learn. Yes. Hashtag Team Eric. Yeah, how's it going, guys? Am I ready for the big trip? I'm not, because I am, for whoever doesn't know, I'm going with Warren to Germany for the masterclass and the convention that they're having out there. Super booth? Yeah. So I suck at flying, terrified of heights, So me and flying don't really get along. And funny enough, I've only flown I think 4 times, and each time has been with Warren for, you know, Summer Nam in Nashville, going to San Francisco to film, stuff like that. So and this is I think it's like 9. I forgot. Like it's a long flight. I don't know where we're stopping at first, and then we're taking another flight that's like an hour and a half. So I think it's over 12 hours of traveling. And the first place we're stopping at is gonna be a couple of hours of just like chilling, which yeah. So being up in the sky for that long is gonna be kind of freaky. All right.
So, am I my mic back on?
No, you are not. But
Is my mic on?
let me shut this off.
Oh, you're not controlling it? Is there anyone there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Eric, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, he just walked off and left.
Sorry.
So guys and girls, unfortunately, we have to cut it short. We're going to do the next two we're actually going to film, because I'm in Berlin next week. Unfortunately, our whole the chats, jokes are fine, but if it's an issue or something that you want to have, then that's fine. Write to Matt at support. You know, I really want to help people, but I do unfortunately, unfortunately, I do have to go and pick up my kids. And I really want these to be about the music and the music only, and helping each other and being supportive of each other. So have a marvelous time recording and mixing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the incredible work. I mean, it's so amazing here. Absolutely amazing. I love how everybody steps up. Thank you. There's so many people from all over the world who contribute to this. So have a marvelous time, and we will do more songs. We're going to make it 12. We'll put these 2 songs in the one that we're going to film for next week. And for those of you going to be in Berlin, I look forward to seeing you, and wonderful. See you all soon. Thanks ever so much. Bye-bye.